Hello, I'm Steve Rasmussen. I'm the District Forester with the Nebraska Forest Service and also a curator with the Northeast Arboretum located at the Haskell Ag Lab. In this section, where we're highlighting activities of the Haskell Ag Lab, we're going to talk about the fruit orchard that we have here at the Arboretum. We have the fruit orchard for a couple of reasons. First of all is to showcase and demonstrate the different kinds of fruit trees that will grow in northeast Nebraska. We want to encourage the planting of fruit trees on home acreages, in backyards, or in home settings for a variety of reasons. First of all, the fruit trees do produce a healthy and nutritious, safe food for people to enjoy. This is somewhat food security. You know where the food is coming from, you know what type of chemicals might be used on the tree and fruit, and also it's a safe source for food and nutritious as well. Secondly, fruit trees provide good habitat for wildlife. This includes songbirds, or it includes also pollinators that will use the flower blossoms in the spring. Trees also produce oxygen for us. They reduce soil erosion and wind erosion, and they also store carbon through carbon sequestration. So planting the fruit trees benefits the environment, but also can be a great benefit to the homeowner as well. So in our fruit orchard here at the Haskell Ag Lab, we have 18 different kinds of fruit trees. We have a number of different types of apples, pears, plums, cherries, apricot, and even a persimmon tree. So let's go into the fruit orchard and take a look at the trees. One of the best types of fruit trees to have planted in northeast Nebraska is an apple variety. Apples would be the most common type of fruit tree that we would have in our landscapes. They're winter hardy, they have good flower blossoms that make it through the winter, and then also they're usually pretty reliable on the fruit crop, maybe alternating every other year with some of the cultivars. With apple varieties, the important thing to remember is that there are some that are very susceptible to a fungus disease that we have common in Nebraska, and those are either cedar apple rust or apple scab. These are fungus diseases that get onto the leaves of the trees, so you want to choose a cultivar that's going to be resistant to those fungus diseases to save the hassle of having to spray a fungicide to control that. So with our Arboretum, we have three main apple cultivars that are the disease-resistant variety. We have Enterprise, Freedom, and Liberty. And these are three cultivars that are known to be resistant to the cedar apple rust and the apple scab. As an example, we have a branch here from the Liberty tree, and the leaves are green and healthy, and you don't see any blotches or yellow appearances on the leaves. If this were a tree that had a susceptibility to cedar apple rust or apple scab, the leaves would be turning yellow. Middle of the summer, a lot of times the leaves drop off, and I'll get calls usually in June and July when the leaves start dropping. People are worried that their tree is dying, and it's usually a problem with the cedar apple rust or apple scab. So those are the varieties that we would recommend for apple trees. For pear trees, we have a couple different pear trees planted. We have the Bartlett, which is the traditional pear tree that most people are familiar with. We also have the Flemish Beauty and the Luscious, and both of those are good producers, and they're also winter hardy for this area. Plum varieties, we have the Toka plum and the Superior plum. Toka is a hybrid with American plum, and it's also known as a bubblegum plum because of the sweet taste that the fruit has. For the cherry trees, we have Montmorency and we have North Star. And then for the peaches, we actually are trying some peach trees. They're difficult to grow in this area. We have the True Gold, which is a new release from Minnesota. And we also have Reliance, and we have Contender. And those are the ones that are going to be most winter hardy for this area. A unique fruit tree that we have in this Arboretum also is the persimmon tree. And that does not produce every year. It's not quite old enough. It's maybe about 10 years old. But it did have a couple of the fruits on last year, so next couple of years we'll watch that to see how that continues to grow. But persimmon is another one that you might want to try in a protected